So for those of you who don't know, I'm gonna give you a brief little reason why I'm making this video and why it's titled the way it is. Now, I love history. History is my passion. I love learning it. I love reading it on the side hand. I love learning about history. And my favorite time period throughout history is World War II. Quickly, for anyone who is wondering, this is gonna go up in a later date after the Thompson video that I have made that should be going up anytime soon. I have the Thompson Gold. In that video, I mentioned that by the time that video comes out, I should have the Thompson Gold, which I will. And I just got it gold, actually. I'm a huge history nerd. I'm a huge history buff. I love learning about history. I love history in general. After I graduated from high school, I was kind of thinking of becoming a history teacher. And then I realized I don't want to deal with fucking kids, because when I went to school, kids were assholes to teachers. Like, they were just complete dicks, and I didn't feel like I wanted to deal with that. But yeah, history for right now for me is just a passion. I don't really want to. I kind of want to become a history teacher, but I don't, because I have to go. You have to go to like. I think it's like 4 to 8 years for a history degree, and I graduated from school, so I didn't have to go to school anymore. Anyways, that's besides the point. So, yeah, I love history. I'm a huge history buff. I'm a huge history nerd, and one of my favorite eras in history is World War II, from like the 1930s to the 1950s. I wanted to talk about Sledgehammer Games adding realistic uniforms to Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, what do I mean by this? If you guys remember back in 2019, for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, we got these we got these operators called Milsims, which is, Milsim is short for military simulation. And what they gave us is they gave us specific characters from different, like, backgrounds and different units and different kind of terrorist units. So, like, you had three guys with different gear from, like, Korean Special Forces, and then you had Canada Special Forces, then you had MARSOC, then you had Pararescuemen, then you had Marine Raiders, then you had SAS guys, then you had a couple others sprinkled in there. Unfortunately, I still can't play Modern Warfare, so I can't show you all the Milsim lists. Those of you who played Modern Warfare and love the game, just not in general, but in general, if you played Modern Warfare, you kind of know what I'm talking about. What I would love for Sledgehammer Games to do, like I just previously mentioned, is I would love for them to add realistic unit uniforms. What do I mean by this? So, for instance, for example, they could add 3 variations of this. They could add a airborne character, and this airborne character would have an 82nd Airborne uniform. He'd have... Or you could do a 101st Airborne uniform. Or you could do something like a 17th Airborne Division type of thing. Now, I also would love to see like a specific unit attached to this uniform. So like for the 101st, you could do 506 Easy Company for 101st. Or you could do 504th or 502nd for the 82nd Airborne. And then so on. And then you could also do German uniforms, because I really, really want German uniforms in Vanguard. Like, realistic uniforms. Obviously, they can't put the swastikas because the German uniforms had the swastika. If you're a Wehrmacht, it would be on your right breast. It would be the German eagle with the swastika. And if it was a Waffen-SS type of uniform, it would be on the... I believe it was the right sleeve or the left sleeve. I think it was right sleeve. I would just really love to see them add, like, United States Airborne type of Milsim operators. They could add, like, the 1st Armored, the 2nd Armored, the 3rd Armored, like an Armored Division type of operator. They could add 1st Infantry. What they did with Call of Duty World War II is the campaign was focused around the 1st Infantry Division, which was the big red one, which stormed Normandy, Omaha Beach with the 29th Infantry Division. So, like, they have a lot of things they could add to this game realistic-wise So they could add the 1st Infantry Division. They could add the 29th Infantry Division. They could add, like, the Armored Division. There's so many units they could add to the game. I would love to see them add different units from the United States, from Britain, from Canada, from France, as, like, Milsim Operators. I really do think they should do that and, like, put so much detail in the uniforms and just add them as operator, like, Milsim Operators. And just have them unlocked for everyone. Or, hear me out, there could be certain uniforms that have like different camo patterns that are realistic. Don't add some like bullshit camo pattern that no unit in the entire history of World War II wore. Like they could, for instance, there is a really nice camo that you can actually get on the SMGs. It's called the frog skin camo. It was used in the European theater here and there. That's what it was like originally meant to be. But it was actually gave to the Marines in the Pacific Theater, and the Marines used it. So they could add like the 1st Marines, 3rd Marine Divisions. They could also have them use the frog skin camo uniform along with the helmet cover. Along with that, on the Axis sides, I know they're not really doing factions for this year, which is, I think, a big mistake in my opinion. But we already have 2 German characters in the game, and one of them has Waffen SS camo bottoms. That is the fuck, what's his name? Hold up. Roland. Roland's a German character. In the game it says he was a Wehrmacht. He used to be Wehrmacht, and then he like betrayed and started killing like other Germans and stuff. But his last unlock, he's actually wearing a Waffen SS bottom. Well, kind of. So like but firstly, I don't know if he's like Wehrmacht. How did he get hold of a Waffen SS bottom unless he killed a Waffen SS guy and then stole his pants, which is kind of weird if you ask me, but whatever. But I would love for them to add even German uniforms or Japanese uniforms as Milsim Operators. I would fucking love that. Like it would make the realistic side of the COD community that Modern Warfare brought back to a World War II game, and people be like, oh my god, look at these uniforms. They're fucking dope. You just run around as like a German character that has like, I could either run around as a Luftwaffe infantry soldier. I could run around as a Fallschirmjäger infantry soldier. I could go around as a Wehrmacht infantry soldier, or I could go around as a Waffen SS infantry soldier. That'd be fucking dope. And like you could pick different camos. Again, there'd be like 3 different options per guy. So like a Wehrmacht, there'd be 3 different options with 3 different uniforms, because the Wehrmacht went through a lot of uniform changes from like mid 1930s to 1945. I think they went through at least 4 uniform changes, different colors, different fittings, different the way they look, different boots, different equipment. Same with the Waffen SS. You could get different camos. Because, like, I'm really obsessed with the Waffen SS camo pattern. Like, just Google Waffen SS camo pattern. Like, the P camo pattern. Which, it's actually already in the game. They have them for the camo challenges for some of the guns. Well, actually, all of the guns. And I think that camo just looks fucking dope. I really love it. Along with that, Fallschirmjäger, German paratroopers, they have a really nice camo going on. That's basically a Splinter-Tarn or a Fleck-Tarn type of camo. And then we got the Japanese. I'm not real versed on the Japanese uniforms. That most of them are all like a tan beige kind of color. They didn't really kind of go crazy with their camo patterns, as far as I know. You could the Japanese sniper operator could have like different type of leaf patterns on his back, or he could have it like a ghillie suit. I hate to say it, but he could have like a ghillie kind of strand leaf suit type of thing, because the Japanese love doing that. They love just laying in the grass and being Mr. Spoopy Man. But yeah, this is just a completely random video that I would love Sledgehammer Games to add, just as Milsim characters, or just as something for people to passively unlock while they're ranking up in tiers. So, for instance, let's go ahead and say this. Let's say this video comes out, Sledgehammer Games somehow sees this video, or this video gets a lot of traction, and everyone shares it. Which, by the way, if you like what I'm talking about, just go ahead and share it. Just go ahead, share it, subscribe, like. This channel has actually grown pretty quickly. I mean, we're at 15 subscribers, but like, come on. That's pretty quickly, and I didn't expect it to be that quick. So I want to just quickly say right here, thank you guys so much for showing love and support on the channel, and giving me likes, giving me subs, watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Let's keep this channel growing, because like, I know there is going to be a certain point in this channel where I'm just gonna like run out of things to post, especially with Vanguard. I don't foresee that happening because I still got a lot of videos, plus I can kind of sporadic my upload schedule. But again, thank you guys so much for the love and support. Let's try and get 30 subs by, let's say, we'll go my birthday, April 2nd of next year. Let's see if we can get 30 subs. We need 15 more subscribers for that. I was gonna say by next month, but that's kind of impossible. But yeah, anyways, if you guys like what I'm hearing, and you wouldn't mind Sledgehammer adding this to the game as Milsim Operators, go ahead and like spam them, not spam them, but go ahead and like let them know on Twitter, like, hey, this guy's got a great idea. And now Sledgehammer, if you somehow see this video, I just want to preference again, these uniforms have to be completely accurate. Go to like museums around the world or something. Or fucking go find vets and ask them if they still have their uniforms. I doubt they'll have like their entire gear set. But just like go to a museum that go to the Gettysburg Museum of History. They have most of the uniforms there, if I'm not mistaken, and just ask them, hey, can we photo scan your uniforms here for our game, and just put these specific uniforms. Now, I mentioned before that this could be a passive unlock for players who are just leveling the game, because really you don't get anything for like going past level 55. So I would think every 5 levels, every 10 levels, give us a Milsim Operator. So for instance, the first set would be U.S. Airborne characters. So like we got the 82nd, we got the 101st, and we got the 17th Airborne. So let's say at prestige, let's say you're prestige level 1, and at prestige level 120, you unlock the 82nd Airborne one, and then 5 levels later, you unlock the 101st Airborne, sorry, and then the last level, you unlock the 17th Airborne. And then once you unlock those, and you complete different challenges because I know some of the airborne troops had different camo patterns on their persona. So like the Pathfinders for the 101st and 82nd Airborne, they had kind of camo patterns on their uniforms. So once you unlock the 101st Airborne uniform, you could, once you select it, you can get a challenge to get a camo pattern for it. Or you can get face paints. If you guys Google U.S. Airborne World War II troops, you can see them have like Indian face paints or just straight up green and black face paints and stuff. I think it'd be fucking cool. You could get different camo nets for your helmet. I think it would be cool. It would add an additional unlock for players to passively unlock. And for those people who love history, who are history nerds, and who are the type of Milsim realistic community side of Call of Duty, would love this as well. And you would see a lot of people rock it, especially with the German uniforms too. Because say what you want about the Germans during World War II, and I'll agree with you. Some of the Germans were horrible. Not all Germans were bad during the war. I always have to say that, because people think all Germans back then were fucking horrible creatures. They weren't. Most of them were just following orders, and didn't necessarily agree what Hitler was doing. But that's besides the point. Same goes for like the German uniforms, passive unlocks, different type of things, and I need a preference. I gotta keep preferencing things. They have to be realistic and historically accurate for these Milsim Operators. Just for the Milsim Operators. I know you guys don't really give a fuck about being realistic in a COD game, but just for the Milsim Operators, just to cater to that Milsim realistic community side of COD, like I'm in, it would give us it would show us that you guys actually care about that side of the community. So, and I know there's a lot of things going on with Activision that none of us agree with. Let's just say that right now. But yeah, there's so much I want to say on this video. So if you guys kind of want a part 2 of me talking about this, just leave a comment down below. And if you don't give a fuck, then I guess say that too. I don't expect this video to go anywhere. I expect it to probably get like 5 views and no one give a fuck. Some people might find it cool. There's gonna be some people like me who might find this video and be like, I agree with you. And yeah, I do apologize for this long video. Didn't expect it to be 20 minutes long, but I would love to see this addition added to COD Vanguard just to add more passive unlocks for people ranking through the ranks, because once you get past level 55 and go into prestige, you don't really unlock anything. Along with these Milsim Operators, you could add emblems and calling cards that go along and coincide with these type of uniforms and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool too. By the way, I want to mention this before someone comments below stating that there was more units than I was listing. These were the ones that I literally just came up in my brain. I know there's more than just 3 U.S. airborne divisions. There was the 13th, the 11th, the 17th, the 82nd, and the 101st. I know that. Along with that, they could add all the Marine divisions if they really wanted to. There are so many U.S. Army divisions. I guarantee there's at least 200 U.S. Army divisions. Like, that's excluding U.S. Airborne, because the U.S. Airborne is a part of the United States Army. Just go down in the links down in the description and look at how many fucking U.S. Army infantry divisions we had. And we still have. It's fucking mind-boggling. Like, Sledgehammer, this is some content, like, god right here. You could literally add every single uniform from every single unit during World War II. Every infantry division, every airborne, every armored division, every Marine division. You even got the segregated divisions in the U.S. Army. The black divisions, you could add those. Like, I feel like you should add those as Milsim Operators, or make them their own operators. Some of these guys, you can make their own operators as well. You can go talk to vets, ask the vets, hey, do you want to be in a game? And have them in the game. I don't know if that's wrong to say or not, but like, I don't know. There's so many divisions on the US side and on the German side and on the Canadian side. There's so much content they could add to this game as for just passive unlocks. It's insane. I feel like they should do it. I really do think they should do it. And every season they could add like 5 new uniforms from each nation. So 5 from US, 5 from Britain, 5 I almost said Canada, 5 from Canada, 5 from like France or something, and then 5 from the Germans, 5 from the Japanese, and obviously Australia, New Zealand, all those, everything. Like, okay, so I can't. First of all, I apologize for this video being so fucking long, but I'm gonna save you guys the time, and there's 2 links down in the description of a list of every single military unit that Germany had during World War II, and every Waffen SS. Of course, this is for people who actually care, but if you're curious, every military unit that Germany used during World War II, and every Waffen SS unit. Now, I can't show the Waffen SS unit on YouTube, and they can't actually put the actual, I guess you could call them logo or division logos of Waffen SS, because for obvious reasons. I mean, they kind of did in the campaign, but that's the campaign. But I'm not going to show it on YouTube and Sledgehammer Games. You can't put the actual icon in your game if you ever decide to do this because of obvious reasons. But to be honest, they didn't have that. That was just the division logo, that they didn't plaster that on their person. So yeah, I can't show it on screen for obvious reasons, but just look down there, and the Germans probably had way more infantry divisions and divisions in general than, sorry about the dog, than the United States and probably other allied nations. So again, the last time, Sledgehammer, if you somehow find this video please add this. Make it. Just go find a museum somewhere in the United States or out of the United States and photo scan these. Really put your time and love into these uniforms, because World War II vets aren't lasting that much in the United States now. They're like slowly dying off. I hate to say it, and it's rude for me to say that, I know, but we gotta keep their legacy going, and I think that's kind of one way to keep their legacy going, by putting historically accurate, realistic World War II uniforms from both sides into Vanguard as Milsim Operators, like Modern Warfare did. Without further ado, apologies for the long video, guys. I needed to talk about this, and I kind of want to end the game. I don't think it'll ever happen, but someone's gotta ask. So this has been Obsessed with Modern Warfare. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree, and I'll see you in the next video.